everybody looking at us as a possible team to win our conference and all that. You know, this is a new team, and I tell that to our players. I don't care how many players you got coming back. It's new personality, new things that you need to do, and you got to get things done. So it should be fun to watch as we start this season this Saturday. A lot of things will be going on. We have Alabama A&M coming in. I don't know what to expect. They've got a relatively young team. Almost all their defense is back. They didn't have a great season last year, but they did lose 4 or 5 games by a total of about 15 points. And their coach is he's very organized. He understands what he wants to do. He's looking for a quarterback on offense. So it'd be one of those kind of like we're all rolling the dice this week in terms of what we're going to see, and, you know, in the way of what Alabama A&M does on offense and defense. But really the first game is more about you, your team, and what you plan and how you get focused and how you practice the last few months, few weeks. So our guys are ready to play. We've been very fortunate. We have not had significant injuries in a very physical camp at higher ground, and coming back here for 2 weeks, we're going to be close to full speed. Now we just need to keep that luck on our side and keep everybody healthy as we build this team and try to get better week in and week out. But I'm excited for our seniors. We'll have 22 guys that will have their degree by the time we get to Christmas on this football team, and you know, they're excited about this season. This group is really focused in terms of leadership and what we want to do and how we want to do it. They understand the pressure of being defending conference champs and then being picked to win again this year. So a lot of pressure on a bunch of young guys that have worked awfully hard to try to make things come to fruition. But it should be a fun season. New digs, new things that we can enjoy. Glad to be home, glad to be coming home to Nippert. Just going back and looking at last year's season, we did not have a home game. We had a schedule that was horrific in terms of not playing really till around the 1st of October. No open dates, and we still won part of the championship. So I'm proud of the team that went through what they went through last year to sacrifice for what we're sitting and standing in today. So should be a fun time. Looking forward to it. The sky's the limit, and this building that we're standing in right now is going to really enhance University of Cincinnati athletics and football team and the university as we go from here. Questions?
Coach, the conference has a championship game. A little about that. First time UC's ever been in something like that?
Yeah, I think it's unique, but I think it's needed. I think every conference needs a championship game because we do have the +1 now where you have the top 4 teams at the end of the year. I think a team from our conference will have an opportunity to possibly play in that +1. We're going to have to go, some teams are going to have to go undefeated, play very well, and have a competitive schedule, plus win the conference championship now probably at their home stadium, because if you're highly ranked enough to be even a significant team that has a chance to get in that, you'll be very highly ranked. And of course, winning 12 regular season games and a 13th game would give somebody in this conference an opportunity. So it's what I like about it is you have 2 divisions. Most people don't think about this, but you have 2 winners. You have a East and a West winner, and then you have an overall winner. And so there will be a lot more players that will have an opportunity to say that they had some kind of championship underneath their belt, possibly as they go through their 4 or 5 years at a university in this conference. So I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I've played in coached in conference championship games. They're hard. It's just like another game. You play it the next week. It's not a bowl game atmosphere. It's nothing but another game that you have to play that's going to be hard fought, and everybody will be scratching and clawing to win their division, and then scratching and clawing trying to get to the position where they can host that game, which would be the highest ranked team in the polls coming out of the regular season.
What about Gunner's progress this year as opposed to last year, where he stands now?
Yeah.
At the end of the season?
Gunner's got a lot of room for improvement once we get to games. If I ranked him last year in his season from 1 through 13, I'd rate him probably a C to C plus, no higher than that. He only finished 7 of our 13 games. Last year, you know, he had the luxury of thinking, you know, I'm the starting quarterback, but we actually have a quarterback here that's been 6 years that everybody loves, that I can turn the reins over to, and if I'm not getting it done, he can. And we're talking about Munchie Legault. Munchie had kind of the microphone during the season with the players, which I was fine with. Munchie came in and won some games for us, but Munchie's gone. Now the microphone's in Gunner's hand. He has got to run this team, and he's got to be our spokesman in the dressing room with our players, offense and defense. He's got a lot of growing up to do. He's got some weapons that he can use. He's got to use them better than he did last year. He can't have a bad game. Quarterbacks, you can have all the players around a quarterback, but the quarterback's got to get it done. They got to get it done the right way, and it all starts with him. Gunner's leadership is much improved. We go back and look at last year, he was a freshman. He was a freshman that played pretty well in terms of stats, but in terms in the eyes of a head coach and an offensive coordinator, you know, there was a lot out there that he could really improve on. So, saying that, we're expecting Gunner to really take a huge step forward this season in running the offense, getting us in the right play, and then making the play, and then being able to finish more games. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to play him hurt, but you know, last year he knew that if he was a little bit banged up, that, you know, Munchie probably could get the job done with him being a little injured. But this year there's no luxury. We have a very adequate backup quarterback that is a redshirt freshman that's never played, and Hayden Moore. And he's practiced well. He's going to be a good football player. He's going to be a heck of a quarterback here at the University of Cincinnati. He is not ready to play, you know, in a situation that Munchie went in last year and had to take over when we're either down or even or had to keep a lead. Now, if he has to, he can do it. But will he perform as well as Munchie? Probably not early going. So we've got to get him into the game as much as we possibly can.
We've heard the defense playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder this year after just see the numbers from last year. They hear people talk about how maybe it's not a strength. For you as a coach, how does it make it any easier to coach a group of kids that are so hungry to prove something?
Yeah, first of all, they got to recognize that how bad we were, and they heard it directly from me. First 4 games, we were bad, and we were winning on offense. We couldn't get anything done consistently, and there was a lot of factors for that. We have no excuse this year. We have better players, we have more players, we have more depth. The area that we're not as fortunate is some places with experience, but this defense has practiced hard. They've had a chip on their shoulder. They understand that they were the weak link in a lot of games last year, but they got stronger. They did exactly what we'd ask of them. I called them out in team meetings. I call them out in front of the offense. I call them out in front of themselves, the coaches. Call them out in front of you guys part of the time. And so it is what it is. All you got to do is look at the scoreboard. Now, we've got to play better. We've got to coach better. But I think we've got a better idea of what we want to do with the players that we have. We've been struggling in terms of experience. There's some areas like linebacker this year that we don't have the experience of a Jeff Luke or Nick Temple, but we're better athletically. We've got more depth. We've got more guys that can play. Last year we had 14, 15, possibly 16 guys that could play major college football on defense. This year we're closer to 25. We've been out recruiting and trying to bring in as good athletes as we possibly can, and that's even continuing to get better. So defense will be better. How much, we'll have to wait and see. It'll be done right out there on that field and some visiting teams' field as we go through the season. But yes, we have really addressed that starting last January. Really, we started it when I first got here recruiting defensive players. And I'm excited for some of the guys that we have on the team. Whitty being our senior leader in the secondary, him being back has really helped. He got hurt in the Toledo game, opening game last year, tore his groin muscle, and was not right the rest of the year, never played again. And so him being back for the 6 years really helped. And then on the defensive line, Silverberry Muhan is our team leader there, and his efforts and actions and his work ethic showed with the defense is really going to go a long way with a young defensive line that we have, and most will be back for several years. So this defense will only get better from here because of the youth that we have and the athletic ability.